In the next few years, there will be more and more fat people, and Novo Nordisk will take advantage of that fat. So if you believe there will be more and more fat people, then this is the stock for you. Novo Nordisk is positioned extremely well in the entire weight loss market and insulin market and metabolic disease market. They have an incredibly effective research R&D department, and Europe is still, to my knowledge, they're still market leader when it comes to the development of new medications. And Novo Nordisk is the big name. It was the biggest company if you looked at market cap not too long ago. Then they tanked. They got competition from Eli Lilly. Now they have even more competition from a lot of smaller businesses that are trying to recreate the success they had with Wegovy and Ozempic, and it's hurting their price as of right now. But I think in the long term, the story is still very good. And the reason the story is still very good is because they have the operational capacity to produce a lot of medications. They have the R&D capacity to research new avenues for revenue, so create new medications. And their Wegovy and Ozempic are still extremely important. And if you look at it from a marketing perspective, everybody knows the Coke versus Pepsi. That was quite a big thing. Currently, it's no longer, but I think around the 80s or the 2000s, those were two big brands. And by having them compete, both of them became more successful. The same could happen with Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk. I'm not sure if that's the case, but for me, it's an interesting way to look at it. And the reason why I think Novo Nordisk specifically is a great business, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to buy businesses, and we're trying to decouple them a little bit from the stock price. So if the stock price goes up and then goes down again, the reason why I can go buy more when the stock drops is because I've looked at the business from a business owner's perspective, and I can see there's quality in the stock or quality in the business, and that's why I want to buy the stock even at lower prices. Prices are only there to give you information. They're not there to give you information. They're only there for you to take advantage of. And if we go down a bit, there we go. If we take a look at their cash flow, they have the ability to generate massive amounts of free cash flow. And that's from a business perspective, what you want to see. If you take the role of a business owner, what do you want your business to do? You want your business to generate cash. Then you sit there on a pile of cash, and then what do you want to do with that cash? You want to reinvest it in a business to grow the business, to grow your revenue streams. And you also want your business to be around for the long term. You don't want it to be around for just a few weeks. It needs to stick around. And you can do that if you have a high cash flow. And Novo Nordisk's cash flow is exceptional. It will continue to grow, even though they have increased their capital expenditures. They're spending more and more on their plans to increase their production. And the entire weight loss market over the long run will grow quite a lot faster. One of my friends told me the following: in the next few years, there will be more and more fat people, and Novo Nordisk will take advantage of that fact. So if you believe there will be more and more fat people, then this is the stock for you. If we look at their income, you can see that they also grew their revenues quite significantly. Let's look at it annually. If we look at 2021, it was 140,000. All these numbers are in millions, and they're in Danish kroner, so not US dollars. And if you look at it in 2024, they've almost doubled their revenue. And this year, they're expected to grow by 8 to 14%. So they continue this growth trend. And the market expected the growth to be even higher, also because they expected the growth to be higher. And they had to readjust their expectations for this year, but it's still going to grow quite significantly. And then with all their R&D capacity, I think for the long run, they can keep growing. Now, probably the next few years or maybe the next few quarters might be quite difficult for them. But from a stock owner's perspective, you want to find a business with a problem. And the reason why you want to have a business with a problem is because that lowers the stock price, but you want them to be able to solve the problem that's ahead of them. And I think Novo Nordisk is set up very well to solve the problem that's ahead of them. They also have medication that's being researched, and it's in the last few phases of being accepted, that will allow their medication to be taken orally and no longer will be given through a needle. And that's a big reason why Eli Lilly has been able to outcompete them over the last few years. Because from a patient perspective, it's quite impactful to take the medication via injection instead of orally. That's a lot easier. I think that's very intuitive to understand. So they are looking into that. They're researching that, and probably soon this will be available to the public. Then they're also active in the entire metabolic disease market. So they do more than what they do now. So they're active in the metabolic disease industry, and they will increase their activities there and find new revenue streams. All right. They're currently priced at 360 Danish kroner. They have also a listing on the US in dollar denominated value. I think that's about 50 currently. When I bought them, they were quite a lot higher, not lower. Excuse me. I started buying at around 500 or 480. Took a big train downwards under the 300, and now we're slowly rising back up again. I'm still in the red, but I still believe in this business.